From our NewsNation headquarters in America's heartland, it's time for news for all America. I'm Nick Smith. Thank you so much for joining us this day before Thanksgiving. And if you're like millions of Americans, you may be among those traveling today. Right now, you're looking live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. This is the busiest travel day for the airports, roads, and rails. But Arctic cold and coast-to-coast storms could spell trouble. We're tracking what you can expect. And breaking overnight, hundreds are returning to their homes in Lebanon and celebrating the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah after days of heavy fire. We're live with this major step and what it could mean for the war in Gaza.
The bottom line is it's something that we're going to take seriously. We're continuing to look into it.
And drones are swarming U.S. military bases, this time in England. There have been multiple sightings at 3 important air bases. Special correspondent Ross Coulthard explains the Pentagon's new response and breaks down what these drones could really be up to. It's Wednesday, and it's Morning in America. But first this morning, the busiest Thanksgiving travel rush in history is well underway as tens of millions of Americans are taking to the roads or the skies for the holiday. Here's another live look at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. AAA estimates nearly 1 in 4 Americans are headed out of town, with nearly 3 million of those flooding our nation's airports, each of whom is hoping weather and staffing shortages won't delay or cancel their Thanksgiving travel. NewsNation's Xavier Walton is in the thick of all of it at Dallas-Fort Worth International. Xavier, airports around the country are expecting a hectic day, but as I look behind you, things seem relatively calm.
Relatively calm for now, right? I can't report. I did hear at least one baby crying already. But hey, here at DFW, people are obviously still waking up, just getting to the airport. In fact, I think I'm a little bit loud for everybody here. But according to TSA, 2.9 million passengers nationwide expected at airports today alone. Even more expected to fly home on Sunday after Thanksgiving. That's going to be the busiest day in the air. As for staffing at airports, TSA said
All right, looks like we lost Xavier, but we will bring him back a little bit later. The point is, get to that airport early if you are among those who are traveling today. And one of the reasons we're concerned about travel is the weather. Let's see how the weather could impact your trip. Meteorologist Max Paris is in the NewsNation Holiday Travel Center with the very latest. And Max, I know that so many people are looking at their smartphones and checking us to see what they can expect as they head to the airport.
Yes, it does look like we're going to have weather impacts to impact that busiest travel day of the year, Nick. We are talking about snow coming down through the Rockies, impacting much of Colorado. And this is the beginning of a storm system that's going to sweep through the heartland before exiting on the East Coast tomorrow. So there's that heavy snow coming down from Denver through Colorado Springs into Pueblo. This is wrapping up as we get through the rest of the morning. I want to take you to future radar now, which does show the progression of the storm. Notice the snow quickly tapers in Denver, regenerates over the central United States, and then once it reaches the Mid-South in the Ohio River Valley, we'll be tracking mainly rain, maybe a touch of snow through parts of central Indiana and Ohio. But notice, as we get colder, we will watch this turn over to snow on the north side of the system, impacting parts of upstate New York into New England. As that storm system moves out, approaching Friday, so Black Friday will quiet down for much of the eastern seaboard. But notice, lake effect snow takes over. Cold air on top of very warm lakes. That's a recipe for those snow showers to move in, and they're going to be impactful. Look at this. If you are traveling close to the eastern Great Lakes, upstate New York, Buffalo, even into Cleveland, we'll be talking about heavy snow around, at least around 4 inches, but where you see pink, we could get closer to 12 inches. So how's that impacting the airports today? Let's go ahead, talk about that on this big map, showing that we have a heavy snowmaker and a windy setup impacting travel through Denver. We're likely going to see impacts through Kansas City and Nashville today with that generating storm system, but most of the East Coast, quiet until tomorrow. That's when things change as that storm moves right on the eastern seaboard. Major delays likely from Boston to New York City with that rain-snow mix. A chance for strong to severe storms in the southeast. So D.C., Charlotte, and Atlanta also have to be looking out for this strong storm system before it exits by Thanksgiving night. We'll quiet down but cool off considerably as we get towards Black Friday and the upcoming weekend. I'll let you know how low temps fall with the coldest blast of the season so far in just a little bit. Nick?
Oh, Max, it's one we will be watching all morning. Max Ferris, thank you so much. All right now you're looking live at southern Lebanon, the first full day of a 60-day ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah. The move brings an end, at least for now, to nearly 14 months of fighting, and already those displaced by the conflict are trying to head home. NewsNation's Alina Shirazi is at the White House this morning. Alina, what do we know about the deal and what it means for Israel's wars moving forward?
Nick, good morning to you. Good to be with you again. We know that this ceasefire did take effect at 4 a.m. local time, and it could be the first concrete step towards ending this widespread war. We know that the deal will allow hundreds of thousands of people from both sides of this to return home, which we're already seeing. Over the next 60 days, the Lebanese army will also take control of the southern part of the country as Israel pulls out any of its troops left in the region. We know President Joe Biden telling reporters that while it's only a 60-day ceasefire, this agreement is designed to be permanent. Here's a little from him.
What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed, well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again. Over the next 60 days, the Lebanese army and state security forces will deploy and take control of their own territory once again.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office did say it agreed to this deal after the White House threatened Israel with an arms embargo and said it wouldn't veto any more UN resolutions demanding ceasefires in Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. The Biden administration is denying the claims, but they insist the United States will work with its allies to make sure both Israel and Hezbollah follow the new agreement to a T.
Alina, quickly, where does this leave things in Gaza right now? Is there any progress on a deal between Israel and Hamas?
Yeah, Nick, great question. I mean, early this morning, we did know Hamas reportedly signaled it's ready to make a deal after Hezbollah agreed to lay down its arms. The group actually telling reporters that its mediators across the Middle East were ready to negotiate a ceasefire and hostage release, but still accused Israel of putting up roadblocks to an agreement. Their apparent readiness does come after President Biden called out Hamas for failing to come to the table several times.
Just as the Lebanese people deserve a future of security and prosperity, so do the people of Gaza. They too deserve an end to the fighting and displacement. The people of Gaza have been through hell. Their world's absolutely shattered. Far too many civilians in Gaza have suffered, far too much.
And President Biden says he will make another push with Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, and Israel to get a ceasefire done. So the job, Nick, certainly is not finished at the time, but we are inching closer to a deal.
And Alina, this is definitely a welcome bit of news for so many in that conflict zone. Alina, thank you so much. Let's talk now with Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, David Daoud. David, we've been here before. How optimistic are you that this ceasefire will actually hold for 60 days?
I'm pretty optimistic that it will hold because Hezbollah has an interest in it holding. If we go back to even October 8th, 2023, Hezbollah has been asking for a ceasefire since then. They've been taking a battering at the hands of the Israelis. So they have an interest in not letting this fall apart. At the same time, the question really should be, how long will this hold in the long term? How long will this deal be durable years and even decades down the road, preventing us from returning to the status quo ante that brought us to this war? There, I'm much less optimistic because as much as Hezbollah is a pragmatic organization, they want to survive. They also want to rebuild, regenerate. They've not given up their fight against Israel. They've not laid down their arms at all. This is a tactical decision made by them, given the losses they've suffered. And I think they see an outlet here that will allow them to potentially get a respite from the Israeli onslaught and, again, regenerate, preparing for a future fight.
David, though, let me ask you this, because so much of the enforcement of this will fall on the hands of the Lebanese military, and we know that they're not necessarily the strongest military. How much power will the Lebanese military have in actually enforcing this ceasefire?
Well, again, so this takes us back to Resolution 1701, which also depended upon Lebanon and the Lebanese military for enforcement, for distancing Hezbollah north of the Litani River, for dismantling its infrastructure, for disarming the group, for controlling Lebanon's borders. identical terms almost in this current ceasefire deal. The issue isn't one of capability. It's often incorrectly framed that way. It's an issue of will. The Lebanese armed forces isn't not act or failing to act against Hezbollah because they lack weaponry or numbers. They're failing to act against Hezbollah because Hezbollah aren't aliens. They're Lebanese. They are 100% Lebanese citizens. They have widespread Lebanese support. Recent poll showed that 85% by Arab Barometer showed that from September showed that 85% of Shiites in Lebanon support Hezbollah. So if you as the Lebanese army are to move against a very powerful armed group like Hezbollah that has massive domestic support from Shiites, Lebanon's largest possibly and definitely largest growing demographic, and that has external support from Iran and other militias in the region, you risk a very bloody and possibly unwinnable civil war. And we're still in that situation. Nothing has changed in those conditions. So hope for the LAF to act should be very low.
David, let me ask you this, though. I want you to talk about the timing of all of this, because you and I both know nothing happens in a vacuum. Do you think Benjamin Netanyahu agreed to this deal for political reasons, and why now?
It's a good question. I can't understand why, looking at the progress, I mean, purely from military terms, the progress that the IDF has been scoring against Hezbollah in Lebanon would dictate against stopping the war prematurely. But we understand that Israel is under international pressure, both from the United States and the international community, to stop the war in Lebanon. Prime Minister Netanyahu is under international pressure with ICC warrants. So there are a lot of pressure points that Israel is under. He himself has said that the timing was dictated by Israel's needs, namely to allow the IDF to rest, restock its arms, direct itself towards Iran, and direct itself towards isolating Hamas in Gaza and continuing the war in Gaza, even though, as your colleague noted earlier, it seems like we're also pushing towards a simultaneous ceasefire in Gaza as well. So if your objective is to decouple Gaza and isolate Hamas, that might not last long.
And David, I've literally have to go, but I have to ask you about the 7 Americans who are still being held hostage. Where do you think things stand with that?
So we know that an Egyptian delegation was traveling to Israel to talk about hostage release and hostage negotiations. We'll see where those things go. Again, we've had hopeful starts in the past. We go back to July and August about ceasefire deal in Gaza and the release of hostages, and that went nowhere. I'm never an optimist on these things. Let's just wait and see.
David Daoud, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning.
Thank you for having me on.
We have our eyes on one more midweek headline this morning, including stunning new evidence against the Utah mom standing trial for the murder of her husband. Investigators say Corey Richens asked a second person for fentanyl in the weeks leading up to her husband's death. Newly unsealed search warrants show Richens sought the drugs from a handyman around the time she got the fentanyl from a housekeeper. Richens is accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl, and she was arrested after writing a children's book on grief. She has pleaded not guilty to aggravated murder, among other charges. And police in New York City say they busted one of the largest retail theft operations ever and recovered millions of dollars worth of stolen goods. I want you to take a look at your screen right now. Look at that haul. From high-end cosmetics to designer clothes. Now, according to prosecutors, the criminals would steal from delivery trucks or from inside stores like Macy's and Sephora. Officials say the ring stretched from New York to Maryland, and the thieves even had a store in the Dominican Republic selling the stolen goods at a discount. And the Mega Millions jackpot is rising past $500 million. Wow. Now at $514 million after no one won the top prize Tuesday. That's a lot of cash for your holiday shopping. You still have time to get your tickets. The next drawing is Friday midnight. No one has won the jackpot since early September. Ooh, come on, Santa. We'd love that. All right, our largest trade partners are now scrambling to possibly retaliate against the United States over President-elect Trump's tariff plan. What Canada and Mexico's leaders are saying about how the tariffs might hurt their economy and ours here at home. And a university art exhibit stirs conversation, but did it push the envelope too far? Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee joins me about this controversy and what he wants to happen next.
Remarkable women from across the country. 125 trailblazers will be honored with a chance to win $25,000 for the nonprofit of their choice. Nominations open through December 20th. Go to NewsNationNow.com to enter a remarkable woman today.
Your parents have given you some amazing gifts, but what about the inherited ones? Celebrate them with Ancestry DNA, the simple test that shows your deep family roots from your mom's side and your dad's side, with some serious detail. Trace the journeys and history that shaped who you are today, and see the traits they passed down. Your connections to the past are all waiting. See just how gifted you are for only $39.
Attention! Star Shower Christmas lights are a viral sensation and sell out every year. Stay tuned to get yours before they're gone. Hanging lights is hard work and takes too much time. There's the untangling, unsafe ladders, and the freezing cold. Introducing Star Shower Ultra 9 Laser Light Show, the fast, easy way to decorate in seconds and bring the wonder and magic of the holidays to your home. There's now 9 different decorative light patterns for you to choose from. You can select between twinkling stillness, moving stars, or blinking. Let's get in tight. I've got it on motion. It's like we're in the middle of a 3D light field. But look at this, folks. Look at the coverage. You've got thousands of Star Shower lights hitting the entire side of the house. It covers up to 3,200 square feet. With Star Shower, you can have lights way up high on the house where it's impossible to hang them, and even decorate shrubbery and trees. It's weather resistant and can withstand freezing temperatures. Just one string of lights can cost you up to $40, and that doesn't light up your house. Ultra 9 costs pennies to operate.
This is amazing. I love it. We're going to have the best house on the block. I want to have them every year. It's magical.
Call or go online to order Star Shower Ultra 9 for just $39.99. But wait, order now and get an instant $10 discount, so it's only $29.99. Now that's an amazing value. You can have our cold, hard guarantee that Star Shower will work in any conditions or your money back. And find out how you can get the Star Shower remote. Forget going out in the cold to change your Star Shower pattern or color. Now just press a button from inside your cozy, warm home. Breaking news, Star Shower sells out every single year, so there's a strict limit of 3 per order. This year's supplies are limited, so call or click now.
Call 1-800-216-6157 or visit ultra9.com. So call 1-800-216-6157 or visit ultra9.com. Order now.
Mike Huckabee here for Vinia, the remarkable red grape superfood for better blood flow. I have taken Vinia every day for 3 years. It's been a life changer for me. The science is sound. In a 90-day clinical trial, Vinia significantly increased the dilation of arteries. This dilation increases blood flow. Better blood flow gives me the physical energy I want. Better blood flow means more oxygen can go to my brain to give me the mental alertness that I need to be at the top of my game. Call or go online to get your first month free. Guaranteed results are your money back.
The 4th Thursday in November. It's the day our families come together. The day food is shared. The day America gives thanks. At NewsNation, we give thanks to you, to all Americans, as we stand strong together and remember our values, our freedom, our loved ones, and this great country we call home.
Welcome back. 18 minutes after the hour, the United States' biggest trade partners are threatening to retaliate against President-elect Trump's tariff plan. Mexico's president says the country will impose tariffs on U.S. goods, and Chinese state media warns that neither country would win a tariff war. The president-elect says the tariffs would be in place until China, Mexico, and Canada curb illegal immigration and drugs from coming into the United States. NewsNation's Libby Dean is following the latest from Washington. And Libby, what are economists saying about how these possible trade and tariffs could impact us here at home?
Nick, these tariffs that the president-elect is proposing here are with 3 of America's major trade partners. And that's why some economists are sounding the alarm on Trump's recent proposal. Now, Trump took to social media, posting that on day one, he would sign an executive order putting a 25% tariff on all goods coming from our northern and southern borders. And Chinese goods could face a 10% tariff. That another warning coming from the president-elect. Now, some economists believe that this cost could be passed on to Americans, as you mentioned, and they would see auto prices go up, grocery prices go up, and even some home prices go up. And that's because the U.S. depends on Canada for lumber. So that would all factor in there. Now, Canada's prime minister was quick to respond by getting on the phone with the president-elect. Let's listen.
I clearly spoke with the President of the United States an hour and a half after he put out his suggestion on tariffs. The reality is we're going to continue to work constructively with the incoming administration to protect Canadian jobs, to protect Canadian growth.
Mexico's president also firing back, suggesting retaliatory tariffs, saying in part, quote, one tariff will follow another until we put our common businesses at risk. That's Mexico's president right there. Now, in the last year, Mexico bought just over $322 billion in American goods, while America bought just over $475 billion in Mexican goods. So President Sheinbaum warning that this could cause things like inflation and job losses here in the U.S., but also in Mexico. Nick?
Oh, Libby, thank you so much. We'll keep an eye and see how things develop. I want you to take a look at your screen right now. Watch this as a fully grown elk charges at a man coming within inches. Still ahead, what witnesses say that man was doing moments before and how it ended for man and beast. And right now, you're looking live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Hotlanta. Travel for Thanksgiving set to reach its peak today. And look at how weather could impact your plans to get from A to B and back again. And some tips to make it all go a little bit smoother.
Hello, my name is Sergeant Anna Aragon with U.S. Army NATO in Saarbrücken, Germany. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to my family in Winsboro, Texas, and I'll see you soon.
Now's the time to go back in time and shine a light on the family journey that led to you. Learn when they said I do, when they became heroes, how they ruled the school, and what you got from your parents. The places on mom's side and dad's side. Detailed DNA results, inspiring family history memberships. Now's the time to save at Ancestry.
After HomoGlow cleaned our place for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. HomoGlow tackled everything, from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary obligated to act in your best interests.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a transparent fee structured so we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Inez, let me ask you, you're using Head & Shoulders, right?
Only when I see flakes. Then I switch back to my regular shampoo.
You should use it every wash. Otherwise, the flakes will come back.
He's right, you know.
Is that Tiny Troy?
The ingredients in Head & Shoulders keep the microbes that cause flakes that big.
Microbes? Really?
They're always on your scalp. But good news, there's no itchiness, dryness, or flakes down here.
I love Tiny Troy and his tiny, gorgeous hair.
Make every wash count.
And for stubborn dandruff, try Head & Shoulders Clinical Strength.
There's something going around the Gordon home. Good thing Gertrude found Delsum. Now what's going around is 12-hour cough relief. And the giggles. The family that takes Delsum together feels better together.
When my hair started to thin, I thought, am I going to have any hair left?
After I gave birth, my hair wasn't even thinning, it was gone.
When I spoke to my dermatologist, he immediately pointed me in the direction of Nutrafol.
It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
Within 3 months, my hair was fuller.
It's longer, it's so much thicker.
I had more scalp coverage.
It was so nice to be noticed for my hair after hiding it for so many years.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
What if your body didn't have to hurt after being active? Introducing Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Stoko's supportive apparel is engineered with 90 feet of high-strength cables that reinforce the body and control dials that allow you to adjust the support. Stoko is trusted by professionals, world-class athletes, and weekend warriors who all want one thing: more activity and less pain. Black Friday sales now live. Learn more at Stoko.com.
Welcome back. 24 minutes after the hour. Here's a look at the top stories we're following this morning. Thousands of people displaced by more than a year of cross-border fire are returning to southern Lebanon. Right now, you're looking live at Beirut, the country's capital. Israel and Hezbollah militants have agreed to a 60-day ceasefire deal, with both sides pulling forces out of the south. The Lebanese army and UN peacekeepers would step in to the border area instead. And back here in the United States, the holiday is shaping up to break records with the number of people traveling this year. Right now, you're looking live at Newark Liberty International Airport. I've been through that airport so many times. AAA says more than 18 million people will fly this week, with about 3 million passengers boarding planes today alone. And millions more will hit the road to meet their families for Thanksgiving. Let's see how the weather could impact our trip. So we're going to turn to the guy who knows all about these things as we keep an eye on it, meteorologist Max Superiors, who is in the NewsNation Holiday Travel Center. Max.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, we are going to see impacts in the heartland today before we see a storm system move towards the East Coast on Thanksgiving itself. That storm system is approaching Denver, and you can actually see it with our big plane report here. Lots of flights still taking off in and out through Colorado. The day is young, of course. We're going to see this map from FlightAware become much more populated through the day. I want to point out the big map showing what I expect for delays later today when it comes to the weather specifically. Obviously, this isn't taking into account just volumes of traffic you might see out there, so that's obviously why we want to factor in extra time. But we will see slowdowns in Denver today as we do have a heavy snow and windy setup. That storm system going to generate over the central United States, like the Mid-South and into the Ohio River Valley, with a mix developing. So we could be talking about light snow through central Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And look what happens by the time this reaches the East Coast. Blows up, talking about a stronger storm system than yesterday with a wintry mix in the Northeast. Strong storms with the possibility of some damaging winds farther to the south. It's going to be cold for much of the heartland as that storm system moves in along a cold front. 30s here in Chicago, 20s in the Dakotas. And if you want the warmth, you'll have to go to Miami or anywhere in Florida. They'll be in the 80s. Black Friday looking a little better as that storm system moves out. But I want to talk about the cold. Look at this. Below zero is what we're going to be tracking by Black Friday morning. So as you're heading out for those good deals in the northern plains, make sure you're bundling up. That cold reaches Florida by the time we get towards Saturday morning. Look at that. Jacksonville down into the 30s. Touch of frost possible. So easily, Nick, this is going to be the coldest air of the season. We're ready for it. A wintry blast here as we head towards our wintry holidays, right?
Absolutely. But you know, there's someone who knows even more about that, because she's always ready to help us travel and travel safely. Max, thank you so much. We're going to dig deeper into how people can actually plan for travel with Sandra McLemore, travel industry expert and CEO of Travel Marketing and Media. Sandra, good morning. It's good to see you again.
Very good morning to you. Nice to be back.
Hey, Sandra, let's break it down. The FAA says weather and volume drive nearly all the delays. What can passengers do to ensure a smooth travel day?
Y'all just nailed it. It's going to be the coldest Thanksgiving ever, which means we're going to have a lot more delayed flights and we're going to have road delays as well. So I think we always start the season, Nick, with patience. We can never have too much patience, but there's a lot of things that you can also do to maneuver through your day a little bit easier. And the first thing is, when a route is familiar, whether you're going by car or any other means of transport, check the traffic. A lot of people sleep on that, Nick. They're not checking Waze, they're not checking Google Maps, and they think, yeah, this is a regular 20-minute trip from my house to the airport. But planning that route out on the morning of and allowing yourself extra time is super, super important this year.
Yeah, because you realize all these people came out, like, wait a minute, where are all these extra people come from? It usually only takes me 30 minutes to get there, and all of a sudden it's an hour 15 and you're almost missing that flight. What are some of the traffic flow management initiatives the FAA will implement today because so many people are traveling?
Yeah, so a lot of airspace is opening up, and this sounds really weird to people who don't know about it, but airspace is usually divided into commercial airspace and military airspace, and some of the military airspace around Florida area is opening up so that there's more traffic. I guess you could say it's kind of like opening up an extra lane on a freeway. It's going to give a lot more flights the ability to be able to maneuver, which is great when things are running behind, because we all know that only a certain number of aircraft can be on the runway at once, taking off at once, but nobody really thinks about how many can be in the sky at once. So it's really great to hear that we have more airspace opening today and this week.
And Sandra, you can't control the weather, and some travelers may run into some kind of trouble depending on where you live, particularly up and down the East Coast. What advice do you have for travelers so they don't get stranded?
Yeah, for those who are specifically on the road, there is some incredible new technology out. I saw it at the LA Auto Show this weekend, where you can actually plug a device into your car and it can tell you based on the weather that you would want to drive this route or that route. And this is such new technology, AI-based technology, and I think it's super smart, so keep an eye on that. And for those who are flying, you want to download your airline's app. This is the most slept on tip for people who are flying, because when something changes, you can very quickly rebook in your app, and it's often much faster than going to the counter.
Sandra, everybody's not flying. I do want to talk gas prices before I let you go. They're down about 18 cents this year compared to last year. Nearly 72 million people will hit the road this week. What should drivers be on the lookout for during holiday travel?
Yeah, so if you're in a gas car, then those things that we talked about, making sure that you plan your route out. If you're in an electric car, making sure you know where your charge stations are. Of course, taking tons of breaks in advance and planning out those breaks. Very, very important for driver safety.
You know, Sandra, for the record, I wouldn't mind being delayed if I could hear that accent the whole time I'm sitting there, you know. So, Sandra McLemore, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
See you next time.
Absolutely. We're watching some other top stories for you, including Dolphin star Tyreek Hill off the hook for alleged traffic violations that led to a high-profile conflict with Miami-Dade police. You remember this video. It was one of our top stories over the summer. A judge dismissing the citations after Miami-Dade police officers skipped Monday's hearing. You'll remember that in September, when Hill was pulled over outside Miami's Hard Rock Stadium, he was arriving for the Dolphins season opener, and that sparked an intense back and forth between Hill and police that resulted in an officer pulling the wide receiver from his car and handcuffing him. Tyreek has called on the officer to be fired. And just in time for the holidays, a California man who went missing 25 years ago will be reunited with his family. Now, back in April, an LA area hospital requested help identifying a nonverbal patient, and guess what? Last week, a woman called police saying she thought he might be her brother who vanished back in 1999. This is truly a miracle. Now, police say fingerprints confirm it is a sibling, and guess what? They'll be together soon. And look at this centuries-old treasure that has been discovered once again. Officials in Florida say they've recovered these 37 gold coins that were stolen in a 2015 shipwreck. Now, the coins are from a Spanish ship that sank in 1715. And guess what? They're believed to be worth, $1 million. The FBI and others found the coins in people's homes, safe deposit boxes, and at an auction. Now, interestingly enough, the shipwreck where the coins were initially found gave way to the name for Florida's Treasure Coast. And check out this new video of a man nearly being bulldozed by an elk. Those things do not play around. I'm telling you, I've spent enough time in Colorado, and they are serious. Of course, this happened in Colorado. The person who filmed the encounter tells us that the Denver man was angry the elk was blocking his path to work, and he started yelling at the elk, eventually throwing his coffee at the elk. Well, guess what? The elk didn't like that. No one was hurt. And mysterious drones lighting up the sky over military bases used by the U.S. overseas are raising questions this morning. Where did these unmanned aircraft come from? Well, guess what? NewsNation special correspondent Ross Coulthart will join me with what the UFO intelligence community is telling him about those spotting. And you may remember him as Jerry, the lovable goof everyone picked on in Pawnee. Parks and Recreation star Jim O'Hare joins me in studio to talk about his new book, sharing behind-the-scenes stories and the lasting legacy of what he calls the 7-year gift. Don't forget to download the NewsNation app so you can take us with you wherever you go. Breaking news and updates on all the big stories delivered right to your home screen. Stay up to date and watch anytime, anywhere at newsnationnow.com and in the app.
Hey, I am PFC Rumpe, currently on rotation at MKB Romania in support of First Cav 3227. I want to wish my friends and family in Indianapolis and Texas happy Thanksgiving.
Every night it's the same thing. After dinner, you start soaking, scrubbing, and scraping your stovetop. It's a nightmare. Well, now you can wake up to a clean dream kitchen every day with StoveGuard, the slide-on stovetop protector that stops all the messes before they start. Sauces are rinsed and sayonara, gone in seconds. Sticky messes are no challenge for StoveGuard. Macaroni and cheese comes off in a breeze. Even baked on, caked on oils, boils, fats, and splats are no match for StoveGuard. The fun part
part of cooking is the eating, not the cleaning up. The time that it takes to clean the stove, especially from oily products, is so long. Stove Guard is super easy to clean. You just rinse it, and there's literally nothing left to clean up on the stove.
Each Stove Guard is custom designed and precision cut to fit your stove model.
We cook a lot of spaghetti, but the water could boil over and stain the stovetop, and then the tomato sauce that'll bubble up, and you really gotta. Now, I just pick up the Stove Guard, take it to the sink, wash it off, and I'm done. I couldn't imagine an easier way to do it.
Stove Guard has thousands of 5-star reviews. It's ignited a revolution in kitchens, and it's so easy to order. Simply locate your model number behind the door or drawer of your stove and enter it into StoveGuard.com. And our US-based team will send you your custom-cut, perfect fit, beautiful Stove Guard. Don't settle for cheap imitations that are weak. Stove Guard Premium is 6 times thicker than the competition and stronger. Go to StoveGuard.com right now to order your custom-fit Stove Guard and get free shipping. And if you order now, we'll also send you the Grill Guard free. Now you can grill whatever you want without food falling through. And it stops your grill grates from getting that caked on mess. Just pay a separate processing fee. This is not available in stores. Go to StoveGuard.com right away or scan the QR code on your screen. Order now.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Skyrizi.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizi, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Kind of needs to be more squiggly.
Perfect. So now, do you have a driver's license?
Oh, what did you get us?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Lease a 2024 Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing. Limited inventory available.
37 minutes after the hour. A mystery 53 years in the making may finally have been solved. A YouTuber and pilot says he's cracked the case of the man known as D.B. Cooper, the mastermind behind the only unsolved plane hijacking in American history. Dan Grider, who has been investigating the Cooper case for 20 years, says a parachute found by the FBI's longtime suspect, Richard McCoy's children, is the same one Cooper used to escape after hijacking a Northwest Orient Airlines flight in 1971. Grider says it matches the specific modifications made to the one Cooper used to escape with a $200,000 loot. Now, the FBI, which closed the Cooper case in 2016, has not commented on that discovery. And there are more questions than answers into mysterious drones spotted over U.S. military bases in England over the past several days. The U.S. Air Force says the drones have not impacted the bases or their residents, but it hasn't ruled out if they were sent by agitators. Let's get right to our NewsNation special correspondent, Ross Coulthard. Ross, anytime we hear about something flying in a restricted space, it causes concern. Several drones spotted over 3 different military bases over several days. You posted on social media about those sightings. What can you tell us about what you've learned?
Well, Nick, the interesting thing about this whole saga is how little the Air Force has been able to tell us about what they're seeing, because there have been at least 5 nights, possibly 6 nights, of unexplained incursions by what the Air Force describes as drones over 3 of the most sensitive US bases, or British bases where the US Air Force is based in the United Kingdom. That's Mildenhall, Lakenheath, and felt well. And what distinguishes all of those bases is that it's very likely all of them have nuclear weapons. So this is a very grave situation. Unexplained incursions by unexplained drones, multiple drones, dozens in some cases, and there has not been any attempt, as far as I can see, to successfully bring down one of these objects so that we can be told what they are and where they come from. And when the Pentagon was asked about this, Major General Pat Ryder, the Pentagon's press spokesman, he basically said that all he could tell us is that they are being actively monitored. He couldn't answer a question as to whether they were from a foreign adversary, and he couldn't answer the question as to whether or not they were of hostile intent.
Ross, now the U.S. Air Force did confirm that the sightings were unmanned aerial systems or drones. Do you believe that they are drones?
We've got to be sceptical about this because we've seen no evidence of this to date, Nick. And as you would know on our show Reality Check, for some time we've been reporting on similar sightings of so-called drones over places like Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, the Plant 42 at Palmdale in California, and also the Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey. That happened in, I think, 18th of November, just before these latest incidents. Now we've got these incidents over the 3 Air Force bases in the United Kingdom. And in none of these cases have any of these devices, these alleged drones, been recovered. So I think we're entitled to be sceptical, and the public's allowed to ask questions. Why can't the Pentagon answer a very basic question? Why do they say these are drones, and where are they coming from? And can we be assured that they are not a threat?
And speaking on the not a threat, so far, Ross, help me here, none of them have appeared to be hostile, but that still doesn't necessarily give everyone great comfort.
Well, we deployed, if you remember, Nick, in February last year, we deployed F-22 fighters to shoot down what we were told were balloons flying over the continental USA. It's a very interesting situation that we know that fighter jets have been scrambled from some of these bases in the United Kingdom. They've been flying without transponders, so we haven't been able to track them to see where they're going and where they're maneuvering. But there has been an air tanker refueling them, and they've been operating on afterburners. So it's quite clear that the military is taking this extremely seriously, and the British government has also brought in military assistance of its own to help the US Air Force deal with finding out any more that we can about these objects. At the moment, I think all we can legitimately say is they're objects and they're unexplained.
And they're unexplained. And Ross, this isn't the first time, because I do want to touch on this before I let you go. We had drones flying over Langley back in 2023, and we never determined exactly what was happening. Do you believe that these drones could be from foreign adversaries?
They could potentially be from foreign adversaries, but as you would know, we were the first to report on NewsNation those Langley drones, so-called, and we have queried and questioned the reasons why they use drone terminology. I think at best what they are unexplained aerial vehicles of some kind. That's the best we can put it. And I think the public are entitled to expect an explanation.
And I know that, Ross, you'll keep pushing for an explanation as well. Ross Coulthard, thank you so much, sir.
No worries at all, Nick. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, sir. Need a little extra motivation to get up off the couch before you dive into your Turkey Day feast down tomorrow? Well, these fitness fanatics may have just the ticket for you. And no, it's not another turkey trot. You can stay fit and miss all of the fixings this holiday season. A trending news side hustle for members of Congress could be more trouble than it's worth. Who's trying to cash in on Cameo, and why one had to pull her profile down just a day after inviting viewers to buy her videos. And right now you're looking live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, courtesy of EarthCan. The sun rising on the East Coast the day before Thanksgiving, and we just love that look. We're back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Specialist Kelly Noisette, currently on a rotation at MCAB Romania in support of 1st Air Cav 3rd Battalion. I want to wish my family and friends, especially my daughter Fayola in Philadelphia, a happy Thanksgiving.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Sky Rizzy.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling my crowns means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Sky Rizzy, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Sky Rizzy helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Sky Rizzy, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Sky Rizzy, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
What do you do when your tires are low and you've got someplace to go? What if the solution was right in your pocket? Introducing Pocket Air Pro by Bullseye, the compact compressor that goes anywhere to fill it up with air. Equipped with a 4,500 milliamp rechargeable lithium-ion battery. That's enough power to fill 4 car tires on a single charge, and the whole family's bike tires in no time. It puts the power of a full-size air compressor in your pocket. Low pressure warning? Fill it up with Pocket Air. Motorcycle tire flat? Pocket Air Pro can fill that. Take it with you to class to fill it up fast. Whether inflating basketballs or soccer balls, Pocket Air can do it all. Featuring an advanced smart pressure sensor, it automatically stops when your set tire pressure is reached. Simply set it and let it inflate, completely hands-free. Pocket Air Pro is lightweight, durable, and is powerful enough to lift all that weight. Even a trailer loaded with thousands of pounds of equipment is no match for Pocket Air Pro. Pocket Air is powerful enough to inflate this giant truck. With an ultra-bright LED light and a large display screen, it's safe to use even at night. And with 4 custom air nozzles on board, it's perfect for pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Gas station air out of order? Fill it up anytime, anywhere with Pocket Air. Call or go online now and get the complete Pocket Air Pro system for just $79.99. It comes with the carry case, car charger, and a 90-day money-back guarantee. And for a limited time, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. You get it all at incredible value. Remember, when your air is low, you need Bullseye Pocket Air Pro. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-314-7128. That's 1-800-314-7128, or go online to buypocketair.com. That's 1-800-314-7128, or go to buypocketair.com.
When my hair started to thin, I thought, am I going to have any hair left?
After I gave birth, my hair wasn't even thinning, it was gone.
When I spoke to my dermatologist, he immediately pointed me in the direction of Nutrafol.
It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
Within 3 months, my hair was fuller.
It's longer, it's so much thicker.
I had more scalp coverage.
It was so nice to be noticed for my hair after hiding it for so many years.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
What if your body didn't have to hurt after being active? Introducing Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Stoko's supportive apparel is engineered with 90 feet of high-strength cables that reinforce the body and control dials that allow you to adjust the support. Stoko is trusted by professionals, world-class athletes, and weekend warriors who all want one thing: more activity and less pain. Black Friday sales now live. Learn more at Stoko.com.
We've got Brussels sardines, Brussels sprouts, butternut squash, apples and spice,
smoked turkey,
and smoked turkey.
Astronauts aboard the International Space Station celebrating Thanksgiving a bit early this year. NASA says the crew of its Expedition 72 are helping advance scientific knowledge and demonstrate new technologies for future space exploration missions, including NASA's planned Artemis moon missions. We could all learn a thing or two from folks taking part in fun-run turkey trots, or people who love their outdoor fitness boot camps designed to get you energized from the crisp air. Our team found one fitness group called the November Project, helping folks across the country stay accountable through community, even during the holidays when workouts fall by the wayside. NewsNation weekend anchor and our resident fitness trainer, Anna Koyman. Look at her there. She's joining us live from Charlotte. Anna, tell us about the group and give us your best pre-Thanksgiving workout Wednesday.
I know you've probably been doing your own jump rope, but Nick, I've seen your Instagram. You know, it's really hard to find that motivation to hit the gym, especially when the holidays hit and it starts to get chilly outside. But believe it or not, there are free meetup groups across the country, and our team found one that you're going to want to pay attention to. Take a look at this video of this grassroots group that got started back in 2011. It's called the November Project. It was just a couple of kids, couple of college kids, former rowers who decided to get going with a handful of people, and it has grown and grown. Now worldwide, they are in more than 10 countries in more than 50 cities, so make sure you check them out. They focus a lot on partner drills, body weight exercises, and running, and they cater to every single fitness level. So check them out, the November Project, Nick.
And Anna, you and I have talked offline before about just moving and doing something at different skill levels, that it's not about running a marathon, just being active. You teach group exercise in Charlotte. What are your top 2 tips for outdoor workouts?
Yeah, well, the first thing, especially when it's getting cold, is you need to make sure you're properly warmed up and spend a couple extra minutes doing that. So this is my absolute favorite dynamic warm-up exercise. It's called a caterpillar plank into the world's best stretch. Now, this is one where if you are not comfortable in the full plank here, you can always go onto your knees for those push-ups and for that stretch. So that's your first exercise. And then the other thing I really recommend as you're building in your workouts is to do one of the functional movement patterns of each one. So that's 6 different exercise combos. You can just work out for 6 minutes, do it for 12 if you want to do it twice, or 18 if you want to do it 3 times through. So the first exercise is a basic squat. You just go down and up. Our knees are tracking in the same direction as our toes. If you want to take it up a gear, maybe you go into a squat jump. All right, next up we have a lunge. I'll do a reverse lunge because they're a little bit easier than a forward lunge. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you could bring your hands above your head, do a pendulum lunge, and switch sides. And if you want to take it up a gear even further, you could do some plyometric lunges. So that's your squat, that's your lunge. You want to do a push-up? We'll do a few different push-ups here. We'll do a push-up with mountain climbers. How about that? Get some cardio in too. So push up, mountain climber, push up, mountain climber. Now again, when you're on like at a park, you've got a playground around, you could do some pull-ups. For your pull, your hinge, you can make sure you're doing this where your shoulders are back and down. I'll show you from this direction. It's like you're tapping your tailbone on the wall behind you. So a squat, lunge, push, pull, hinge, and then a rotation. Why don't we get in some more cardio and do a little bit of rotating punches? Nick, how does this look?
It looks fantastic.
We should train together next time I'm in Chicago.
I had to learn the rotating punches when I started to deal with management. I'm kidding. Anna Koyman, love it. Thank you so much. Anna, thank you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nick.
Yeah, same to you. I cannot wait to see you and talk to you about the good old food in Charlotte as well. Anna Koyman, live for us this morning.
Yes.
Anna, thank you. Many Americans are hoping not to break the bank on Thanksgiving dinner. Now, one woman's Turkey Day dish is going viral for all less than $20.
This casserole is the reason I think this is my best Dollar Tree Thanksgiving dinner yet. The richness of all the flavors, the little pops of tart cranberries, then the crispy bites of stuffing on top make it a must try.
I am a sucker for stuffing every single time. The woman behind the Dollar Tree Dinners TikTok account laid out this recipe for that best of Thanksgiving casserole. She says the whole thing costs less than $11.25 to make, and she hopes to inspire folks who don't feel like they can afford to make a Thanksgiving dinner. Some politicians are offering up personalized holiday gifts. More of them are joining a site where you can pay for a custom video from them, but it's raising a lot of questions. NewsNation's Ryan Bass is here to explain. Ryan, are things that rough for former or current politicians that they feel like they need to do a video?
Like, this is more of like a side hustle than it is a full-time job. And Cameo has really become a safe haven for a lot of political figures. But after a sitting congresswoman just joined, it's raising ethical questions. Did she break any rules? We'll dive into it next.
Plus, Israel and Hezbollah agreed to stop trading fire. We'll have details on that ceasefire that could bring some relief to Lebanon and whether it could renew hopes for a truce in Gaza as well.
Hey, I'm Specialist Garza, currently on rotation at MK Romania in support of 3227 1ACB. I want to wish my family and friends in Arizona and New Mexico a happy Thanksgiving.
What if all I do for my type 2 diabetes isn't enough? Or what if?
Once weekly Mounjaro could help. Mounjaro helps your body regulate blood sugar. And Mounjaro can help decrease how much food you eat. 3 out of 4 people reached an A1C of less than 7%. Plus, people taking Mounjaro lost up to 25 pounds.
Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or vision changes. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with sulfonylurea or insulin may raise your low blood sugar risk. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I can do diabetes differently with Mounjaro.
Ask your doctor about once weekly Mounjaro.
I worked really hard on my good credit score, and I want a new credit card, but what if I'm not approved? I don't want to get a ding on my good credit. So, I'm using Experian to find cards with no ding decline. See these? They say no ding decline, which means if I get denied, my FICO score won't get a ding. Sounds good to me. Definitely check out your options with Experian, and get the Experian app.
Find credit cards with no ding decline and apply for them with confidence.
Did you know serums are concentrated with powerful ingredients to visibly improve your skin? Try Olay Super Serum. For 5 powerful ingredients in one, it hydrates, improves texture and evenness, while also firming and smoothing. Try Olay Super Serum.
This is a new era of college basketball, so let's celebrate it and its players. Over 3 days, 8 top-tier programs will step under the bright lights.
My goodness!
Vegas, baby.
Boy, what a play!
You want to prove yourself to the nation? This is the place to do it.
Holy smokes!
I see you, young fella.
That was nasty!
This is the Players Era Festival. Coverage continues today with the slate of games on TBS and Max.
After HomoGlow cleaned our place for $19, we fired our old housekeeper. HomoGlow tackled everything, from our kitchen to our bathroom, all our laundry. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Your parents have given you some amazing gifts. Celebrate the ones you inherited with Ancestry DNA. Explore the detailed family roots, cultures, and traits that shaped who you are today for only $39.
Well, personalized videos appear to be the new side hustle for former or even current elected officials. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz, George Santos, and Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert are just to name a few. They've all joined Cameo to sell custom videos to anyone willing to pay for them. But it's raising some questions, at least in Boebert's case, about if lines are being crossed. NewsNation's Ryan Bass is here to explain all of it. Ryan, how much are they actually making from these things, and why is it a problem?
Honestly, it could be anywhere from a couple $100 to like $500 in Gaetz's case here. And, you know, look, we've seen politicians, former politicians, right? Matt Gaetz, George Santos jump on Cameo. But when Representative Lauren Boebert did it, it raised some questions ethically. And it was like, wait a minute, is she actually allowed to profit off of this platform as a sitting congresswoman? That is kind of the conundrum that she's in right now, and that a lot of people are kind of asking these questions. Now, the congresswoman briefly popped up on the platform before the page went offline amid questions about whether it could have violated House ethics rules. Cameo is a website, by the way, where celebs can sell personalized videos to fans for money. Now, that is where former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz ended up just days after withdrawing his bid to be Attorney General in the incoming Trump administration. But he's no longer serving. Boebert appears to have been the first sitting member of Congress to attempt to join Cameo. Here's a portion of the video that she posted before her account was taken down.
Hey Cameo, it's your girl from Colorado, Lauren Boebert. I am so excited to be joining another platform where I can connect directly with supporters from all over the world.
Now, a Cameo spokesperson did confirm to NewsNation that it was a valid account linked to Boebert and was recently deactivated. Didn't have any more details on why it was deactivated. And Nick, we've seen many political figures join, more Republicans, I will say, than Democrats on the platform. There are certain rules with the code of conduct with the House Ethics Committee. We'll see. We've reached out to see if she has violated any rules. We haven't heard back from anyone on the committee yet, Nick.
Hey, Ryan, thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, we have more news for all America, including the best gifts you can grab on Black Friday for someone on a wellness journey. Plus, the organized crime ring busted for targeting some of your favorite stores. That and more. And guess what? It begins right now. From our